Why the 16233 keeps surviving every trend. Before I start the show, I just want to be transparent about something. This watch, this Rolex, is the most requested Rolex we get. I mean, it seems like it's requested multiple times a week or maybe more. I don't actually have that data in front of me, but we get a lot of requests for this watch. So why does the Rolex 16233 keep surviving every trend? Well, honestly, I think the answer is simple, because it never needed a trend to begin with. And I think that's something a lot of people miss when they look at watches. Every few years, the watch world becomes obsessed with something new. Maybe it's integrated bracelets, maybe it's sport watches, maybe it's smaller cases, maybe it's bigger cases, maybe it's Tiffany dials, maybe it's colorful dials. Whatever social media decides, we're going to direct you to care about for this month. The trends change consistently. The Rolex 16233 doesn't, and somehow it keeps winning. From what we see every day, buying, selling, trading, consigning, sourcing, servicing, appraising watches, the Datejust 16233 is one of those watches that never really disappears. It's never the hottest watch. It's rarely the watch getting all the attention. But after all these years, people keep buying them. I think that's the biggest compliment than being trendy, because trendy watches come and go. The 16233 just stays. There's always actually a period where people hated two-tone watches. Some of you probably remember it. Two-tone was considered old, outdated, something your dad wore, something your grandfather wore. Collectors wanted stainless sports model watches. Everything was about sports models, and still is to a degree. Everything was about hype. And yet the 16233 survived that too. Now, what's funny is many of those same buyers are coming back around, realizing the watch was never the problem, the trend was. That's a huge difference. I think another reason this watch continues finding buyers is because it represents what most people picture when they think of Rolex. Not a Daytona, not a Skydweller, not a Yachtmaster, a Datejust. A fluted bezel, a Jubilee bracelet, steel, maybe steel and gold. If you ask someone who doesn't know watches to draw a Rolex, they're probably drawing something pretty close to a 16233, and that's pretty powerful. And unlike a lot of modern watches, this thing still makes sense financially. You can buy nice examples for significantly less than a modern two-tone date, just half the price. And it's hard to tell the difference unless you know what you're looking for. Most people can't tell the difference from across the room, and that's part of the appeal. Rolex has always operated a lot like a Porsche. They don't reinvent everything every few years. They refine, they improve, they evolve, but they keep the identity the same. That's why 30-year-old Datejusts like the 16233 still look like Datejusts, and that's why the watch continues feeling relevant today. Now, is it perfect? No, absolutely not. Conditions matter tremendously. Some examples have been polished to death. Some bracelets are stretched. Some dials have aged poorly and there's spots on them. This is one of those references where buying the right example matters more than buying the reference itself. That's why I always tell people to work with somebody they trust when it comes to looking for neo-vintage or vintage Rolexes, because a great 16233 and a bad 16233 can feel like two completely different watches. But understand, you find the right one, it's easy to understand why these things keep surviving. Not because they're exciting, not because they're rare, not because they're trendy, because they're timeless. And those are two completely different things. The older I get, the longer I'm in this business, the more I appreciate watches that survive trends rather than create them. And honestly, that's exactly what the 16233 has done for almost 4 decades. There's a reason I've personally gifted so many of these over the years, and why it's still one of the most requested Rolex models we help clients find. If you're thinking about buying, selling, trading, consigning, or sourcing Rolexes and want to help finding the right example, we're always happy to help. Our information is below in the show notes, but let me know what you think. Is the 16233 one of the most timeless Rolexes ever made? Do you think it's what collectors are moving towards? Or maybe it gets too much credit? My name is Chris, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.